years old, and it's 1965. Again, no Twitters and no internet, and there is no this fast communication. And Srila Prabhupada, at 70 years old, he decided to bring this ancient Indian, knowledge from India to West. He was traveling on the steamship. He didn't have any money. He came to America. He didn't know anyone there, and he just went into New York, and he was playing cymbals and singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and people started slowly, to come for the lectures and start to practice, the principles of Krishna consciousness and like that. Good question, thank you. Anyone else? Yes, I will take just a minute. Yes, please.
I have been wondering, the clothes you wear, does it have something special meaning?
Well, actually it doesn't, really. If we really go into, if we go deeper, it's a really it's an external thing. It's more cultural or ethnical thing than really spiritual. You don't need to wear sari or dhoti or kurta, Indian cloth to be spiritual. But it's just a reminder from where this tradition is coming from. That's all. It's more ethnical and cultural than really. Not more, but it's ethnical and cultural. Full stop. Thank you. Good question. Yes, anyone else? Yes.
Can you be very exact about how HareKrishna distinguishes itself from Hinduism?
Okay.
And how big the congregation is, for example?
Okay, well, I was talking about these different denominations, and we belong to Vaishnava denomination. So, what's the difference? The difference is that, for example, you are all from the white background, isn't it? But if I, for example, had a group, you are not from white, you are the only person. So, but, for example, if for example, I had a group from here, from England, let's say from Bermondsey. And I will have a group of, pupils which are so diverse. And if I ask them a question, please, everyone who is Christian, can you raise your hand? You will see people from all different backgrounds, white and black and brown, and it's completely understandable for people. Christians can be from any background. Muslims can be from any background. Buddhists, even Buddhists, Buddhists also can be from any background. But Hindus are all Indians, isn't it? So, because we have this, we have our set beliefs, but actually, this is our historical background. Even though our teacher, when he came to West 1965, he said, I'm bringing a spiritual science here. I'm not bringing a religion. He was saying, I'm not a Christian, I'm not a Jew, I'm not a Hindu, I am a servant of the servant of the servant of the God. And this is a spiritual science. But really, if we are looking, scientifically, Hare Krishna comes from the Hindu background, from Sanatana Dharma background. So it's different in the sense there are quite few white people and white people, black people in Hare Krishna. It's not just India. It's more inclusive. But it's also in some ways, it's more orthodox. Because we are vegetarians, we don't eat any meat, fish and eggs. Also, we don't take any intoxication, which means we don't drink, we don't smoke, we don't take any alcohol, we do not gamble, and there is no sex before marriage. So this looks like, wow, I remember when I heard this first time, I thought, oh my God, show me a person who can do that. I just couldn't believe, but actually it's not difficult at all. Because being vegetarian, especially here in UK, there are so many vegetarians. And in UK it's so easy to be vegetarian because on every product, when you go to Tesco, Sainsbury's, wherever you are buying your meal, take any product and you will see the sign if it's suitable for vegetarian or not. So it's not really difficult to be vegetarian, and we are vegetarians because we practice the principle of ahimsa, or non-violence. We want to do as less violence as possible in this world by choosing to be vegetarian. And and then we don't take any intoxication. Why we don't take any intoxication? Because bring us in the state where we cannot control our mind and our senses as we like. Yeah? And sex before marriage is again, it's a like kind of protection of the heart and the mind. And the last one is no gambling. Well, we all know how gambling can influence us. And gambling is not just gambling with money, but let's say fast driving is also gambling, because we gamble with our life and life of others by fast driving. We are putting someone in a situation where we cannot, we cannot control. Yes, it's very simple. I don't know, is it custom also in Denmark to take off shoes before entering the house, like in Sweden? Or
It used to be, but
Used to be. Not
today.
anymore. Okay. So street is dirty. And as we come in our home, we bring all the dirt from street to our home, on our carpets, on our sofas and everything like that. So temple is considered as a holy place of worship. And the main focus of the temple room are deities. So as we are coming to the temple room, we don't want to bring dirt into the living room of Lord. So we take off our shoes, and when you go to visit your friends or your family, before you enter into their home, you knock on the door, ring the bell. So on each side of the door, as you can see there are bells. So people ring on that bell, they come inside, and then the first thing which they do, they show respects to deities, and there are different ways how to do that. Some people, they just stand, they put their hands in Namaskar Mudra. It's called Namaskar Mudra. It's explained that this position of hands invokes humility in ourselves. So can you imagine your teacher greeting everyone? Good morning. It's like, you immediately kind of invoke some respect and humility in you. So people just come, put their hands in Namaskar Mudra, and they say prayer or greeting or glorification of Lord. And the second way how people do that, they just go on the floor, they touch floor with their forehead, and again they say prayer. And there is a third way where people just prostrate themselves on the floor. And this is really beautiful. Actually, when temple is empty and there is no one around and you are very kind of happy or very sad, you just feel you want to stay on that floor forever and just, you just stay there and you pray and you feel, at least in the body, you can surrender yourself to God if you cannot surrender in the mind. So, the main focus then of whole temple are actually these two shrines. And on this shrine here we have Krishna and his wife. And on this shrine here we have Krishna, his brother and their sister. Well, we were talking quite a lot about how, in Vaishnava tradition, in Hindu tradition, there is a lot of colors and forms and shapes. And so these deities are done in very specific ways. Some religions would say this is idol worship, but actually those who really understand Hinduism, deeply, they understand it's not idol worship. Because these deities are made by a specific way, in specific material, by people who are qualified to do that, and when they are brought in the temple, there is a procedure in which these deities are consecrated, and the Spirit of God and God is invoked into deities. So whoever comes here, they don't see these deities different from God himself. Like, I'll give you just a small example of which color of post box are in